Better late than never. Right? So we have some questions today. Sandro, first again. That guy's a machine. Just wait for a minute. Let's get some people on here. And just fire away with some awesome questions. Oh yeah, I forgot that. The chair. We need to fix the chair right now. Need to fix the chair. Let's figure this out. Where's this noise coming from? Everywhere. Damn thing. This thing is beyond fixing. I don't know, it might be better. Nah, it still sucks. I tried. You're still not done? Sure, I just started. Dremel it. Maybe I should. Okay. Should we start? Got any good questions? Yeah, of course. There were some old questions here too, I think. Where were they? Show use hats sold buggy. What? Show us. Jeez, at least try to spell. Dieter, you need to ask your question again. I remember you had a question. New e-buggy. The new e-buggy is shipping, what day is it today? 31st? Well, next week. Let's play it safe. The e-buggy is shipping next week. So the grey edition. I don't know, the chair still is squeaky, but I think it's a bit better. When are you going to cut my hair? I'm gonna cut my hair end of September. How about that? Is that okay with you? I'm gonna have an afro by then. Good evening, Tony. Can you flip the video? It's too late. I forgot to flip the video. Sorry. When are you coming to Northern Ireland? We miss you. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to London end of next month. You should go to Motocross of Nations. I will laugh all 4 days. You're here if you have. If I have what? I missed some message. Your nose looks even bigger in widescreen. Yeah, I don't like this fucking widescreen thing. I should only do vertical videos. What dirt bike am I riding? I have a Kawasaki 250 4-stroke. That's enough bike for me. Am I gonna race in the UK other than Neo? I don't know that I am. I've done some races at Hearts before, but no plans of any races now. Do I think there's any innovations coming in 8 scale? None that I can see right now, nothing big. I don't think anyone's doing anything new right now. JQRacing, thank you. I can stay at your house, but not Degani. Why not Degani? Show us your prizes and stuff back there. That's just all the shitty ones. Up there, old ones. And a few there. What else? Good evening. More people joining, it seems. Who's the best radio smasher? I don't know. I mean, the Americans are pretty good at it. I think Cavallari's gone through a few. Mayfield at least one. Tebow's done some smashing. I think the Americans got this covered. Let's see Hara's car. I stole some bits of it. When I put them back, then you can see it. Future pivot ball? I don't think so. Best smasher is Smoker. Yeah, that's true. I didn't see it though. Silver State 1 year. He threw his radio and he had the American flag on it, you know, so I think he tried to hit a marshal or something. So his radio was just flying and the flag was flapping, waving in the air. He said it was epic. No, I'm not gonna auction off Hara's car. I'm gonna keep it. Where is JQRacing 5 years from now? 5 years from now, we have, I would say we have 8 scale and 10 scale off-road cars. We've got some of the top racers in the world, winning races, actually earning money doing this. I've retired. I just design. I'm like Kanai. In 5 years time, I'll be like Kanai for JQ. And we'll have some fast guys winning races. And yeah, having more fun than now. How did you learn car design? There are a few good books. I'll show you some. Oh, it's the wrong way now. Race car vehicle dynamics. Millikan. That's like a Bible. It's a lot of theory. Not necessarily the easiest to understand, but then there are many other ones like this. Race car chassis technology. Really good stuff in here. You can learn to understand all about roll center and camber change and all that stuff. This is what it looks like. So no mathematics really, it's just theory and practice and what happens in the real world when you do stuff. So this applies really well to what we are doing. Race car chassis technology. Another one by Herb Adams, chassis engineering, also really good. Tune to Win, another good one. Carl Smith is the author. Same kind of stuff, like all of these are super old, but it still applies. So yes, a lot of theory, a lot of text explaining what's going on, you know, roll center stuff, all kinds of stuff, but it's all easy. You don't need to be a mathematical genius to do this. It's just, these are more meant for like race teams to understand how cars work, not for, you know, engineers who are developing something new and exciting really. It's basics. And then one more, How to Make Your Car Handle by Fred, however you pronounce that, P-U-H-N, Poon. Another good one. Drive to Win, not really about cars but more about racing. Also Carl Smith. So there. Google is your friend. Yeah, so there's a lot of information out there. The thing is that it's just, it's not easy to apply to what we are doing. Because we don't really have data out there and we can't really collect data from the cars either. So you have to be a good enough driver to feel what the car is doing on the track. Then you have to put in the time to actually try all kinds of different things and gather information. Then read the theory and understand how the theory and reality work together. That's what takes time. The concepts are really not that difficult to understand, but to learn to understand them takes time. If I explained everything to someone, it would be easy. That's why I don't explain it to anyone, because I know how hard it was to understand and how hard it was to learn. Strangest hotel I've stayed in during my travels. I don't know. I can't think of one now. The J Smoker Motel, Costa Mesa, California. That's the strangest one. Oh no, it's Santa Ana. I probably missed a whole bunch of questions there when I was explaining about the cars. Sorry about that. My worst fears when starting new car projects, well, I haven't really had many car projects, just the nitro and the electric, new versions of them. I mean, the first one was obviously the scariest because I'd never had any car before. So I was worried that what if no one cared, what if no one actually bought the car? But the sales the first year were actually really good, so I guess my fears were unfounded. But after that, I've always known what we are going to release, so I haven't really been too worried. What do I think about the Reds engine? The Reds engines are very reliable. That's the best thing, I think. It's very rare that they, at least for me, that they would flame out or I'd have a problem. They run really good, and that's always step number one for me with engines. So I need them to be pretty easy to tune, I need them to run always, and that's what the Reds does really well. Power, I think, is pretty medium. I'm sure there are more powerful ones and less powerful ones out there. So I think pretty much average on the power, but it's very smooth and easy to drive. And I like that too. And mileage is pretty standard. Normally I run out between 9 and 10:30. That's pretty much where I run out of fuel. So I can always stop at 7:30 easy, and sometimes I stop at 9 minutes. What do you prefer, nitro buggy or e-buggy? I'll just skip that question. One driver to drive my car, unlimited budget, who would it be? I think I've answered this before. I don't really know what I said, but probably it would have to be an American, because Americans have worldwide or more worldwide appeal, I think, than a European. A European doesn't affect the American market as much, but an American affects the European market, I think. So I would probably go with someone like Mayfield. Ryan Mayfield would probably be the best to have, because he's an exciting driver to watch. If you were still driving for a different manufacturer, do you think, Phil, you'd be a more accomplished racer? I would have been. I think if I never had started this company, then I would have been a more accomplished racer, because I started right when I was kind of getting fast. So I never really achieved anything great. I made Euros mains, I had fastest laps, I qualified well. I TQ'd rounds at Euros, and then I started making my own car, and then I just kind of faded away and didn't have any results for 3 years. At the Worlds, the same thing. I qualified decent, I think 8th in Indonesia or 7th, leading my semi-final by 7 seconds, and then my engine flamed out. Then actually the next Worlds already, I was already working on my own car, so who knows, if I had just focused on racing, maybe I could have done well. What's your take on the general direction of the racing side of the hobby currently? Seems it and the industry as a whole, to an extent, is in a strange place that I have no answer for. Well, I think due to more brands coming in, more drivers were sponsored and more drivers were also paid, and it just wasn't sustainable. Companies were losing money instead of making money by sponsoring drivers and paying drivers. So what I think will happen is fewer drivers will be paid in the future than what they are now, and I hope there'll be fewer brands active, at least seriously, in racing. That would mean that the brands that are can focus more on it and get a bigger market share and make better products, provide better products for their customers, and also support the teams that they have better. When there are too many brands, it's hard for anyone to really develop the best possible product, to have the best possible race team, because their market share is smaller. So if we can have a bit fewer brands, everyone can have a larger share, and I think it could improve the overall racing scene. But I don't think racing is going anywhere. I think the RC scene has grown in the past, and then there's been a slump, and it's been smaller, and then it's grown again, and I think that's going to happen again. I don't see the racing side going anywhere. There's still going to be paid drivers. There's still going to be world championships, European championships. It's still going to stay the same, I think. So when dealing with outer drive shafts to the wheel, what's the difference between a longer bone and a shorter stub axle versus a long stub and short bone? I know there are different pivot points. I can't see the full message. Well, I spoke about this in some other video. I mean, I need to go back to back, but basically the longer drive shaft you have, the more stable the car is. That's what I feel, at least. The more traction you have. And I need to go back to back with CVD versus universal. The universal is more free and the suspension is more similar on and off power and softer in bumps. But which is better? It depends on your setup and on the track conditions, really. So you can't say, oh, this is going to be better in bumps, this is going to be worse. It's a combination of everything. What else? How much do you tune with the clutch on your Nitro? Any process you use clutch tuning wise? Actually, not very much. I don't tune it that much. When I used to run 4-shoe clutches, you could run composite and aluminium shoes and different springs, and then I tried a whole bunch of different options. But now I've just tended to run my own clutch, 2 1.1 springs and 1 1.0, and it's just a really good feel on all the tracks I've been to, and that's what I run almost always. I've been very happy with it. It doesn't last as long as some other clutches, but the feeling is really good. So someone is asking, how many people work with me on development of the car? It's hard to say. I have a few drivers who try different things and I talk with them about ideas, but most of it's basically done by me. I mean, no one else really has designed anything for the car. It's more like in the early stages of ideas and do you think this would work or that would work? That's when I have more feedback from other people. Like Chris Morrell in America right now, he's actually been studying, but now he's running a bit more and he's been trying different stuff and different ideas. So he's one. And then obviously in Finland I give parts to other drivers to try, just to see what they think. But it's not like there's a huge team of us just developing the car. When are you going to pay drivers to race with JQ? Well, that's going to be when a driver who I think is worth paying is available and willing to run a JQ. And when that happens, then I'll pay them. So I don't know when that's going to be. Seventh place at Euros. That must be when we spoke before. Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm top 25, but that doesn't really mean anything to me. I mean, I'm sure for some people that would be great, but not to me. It means nothing. What's it going to take for people to go to nitro classes from the ease of electric power? I don't know. I mean, I guess either you like nitro or you don't. I don't think anyone can just not like nitro and then start to like it. I don't know. Can I trade my first batch of the car for a black edition? That's a good question. We're actually going to start this program for the end of the year where we buy second-hand 8-scale buggies, and not just JQs, any buggies. So you have an 8-scale buggy and you want to trade it in for a black edition, you can do so, and we're going to credit you up to $150 for any second-hand buggy, depending on the condition, of course. So it's up to $150 you can get for a used car, except if you have a Durango. If you have a Durango, we'll give you $50 more, so up to $200. But more details about that later. Is Kyosho still the bar for car designers? Well, the Kyosho is still very good, but I don't think even they know what to do next, so I wouldn't call that the bar anymore. I don't really know. There is no bar at the moment. I mean, the Kyosho, Mugen, the JQ car, hot bodies, they're all really very good now. So yeah, I don't know who's gonna manage to make the next step forward. Uh-oh. So here we are in 2017, looking forward. What do you anticipate to be the biggest, most significant developments in 8-scale car design? What's someone gonna do next? I honestly don't see any. I don't see anyone doing anything. And I think the biggest reason is that with the way the market is right now, market isn't big enough and everyone's share is too small. So no one has the balls to do anything special. Or the budget. What are your future plans on marriage? Oh my god. Well, did you see that my girlfriend I posted on Facebook a while back? I might have to marry her. She's a bit two-dimensional, but she'll have to do. Other than that, it's not looking too good at the moment. If you have any beautiful single sisters, then send them to Finland. Do you sleep on Degane's couch when you come to the States for months at a time? No, I don't. I mean, I do stay there sometimes, but mostly I have my office at Jay Smoker's house. Do I have any The Engines in my hobby room? I don't have any anymore. I have a used one I think I saved, but all sold out. Is associated a Mugen copy? I don't know, I don't own one. But the 10 scale, the 4-wheel, is not an X-ray copy, even though it looks like one and everyone said it was. It's not. It's actually different. Where do you see Losi going? Obviously Dakota is the face of the company, and now Tana coming into the spotlight. Does the racing program fade away soon? Well, that's the big question. I mean, I've heard rumors that it is fading away, that they're not going racing, but then again they're still paying Savoia in Europe and Dakota Fend in America, so they still have a good European driver, good American driver. Who knows? Who knows what they're doing? They aren't taking it very seriously, at least that's what it looks like to the outside. What do you plan to do with all the used buggies you will end up with? We'll probably just sell them off real cheap, and all the Durangos will all save and think of something really special. Why do you use 2.9mm pins in the universals driveshafts instead of common 3? You know what? Good question. I don't know. If you want pins, we have pins. You know, we can sell you some pins if you want to replace them. How long is it until a Reds engine is ready for your Reds graveyard? Actually, it's quite a few gallons. I do maybe 2, let's say like 1 gallon of running. Then I'll do 2 or 3 bigger races. And then maybe some club racing or just practice. And then I'll practice until it's done. Until it just doesn't run anymore. And that, I don't know how many gallons that is. But a lot. Why is it often gull wing arms on 10 scale and never on 8 scale? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think some of the gull wings are just stupid. They're like a Z shape and does nothing because the shock is still almost on middle, if you draw a straight line, still on the middle. So I really don't know. When I actually had gull wings on the rear on my original car, and it never worked as good as just the straight arm. Will you make 10 scale cars? Yes, I have designed them and I will make them. I don't know when. Someone asked where will JQ be in 5 years, and I said we'll have 10 scales, so I'll make them within 5 years. Are you getting addicted to this video blogging? No, I'm not. I'm doing this for you guys, because you still watch. When you stop watching, I'll quit. Do you believe offering a 1/8 truck would help sales in North America? Actually, yes, to an extent, yes. It would be easier to get good drivers, like good drivers who get a really deep discount or free equipment, and even, well, I don't necessarily know about paid pros. Paid pros you can probably get, but the driver who still pays something, it would be easier to get them if I also had a truck, because they all race truck, and that's kind of been an issue in the past where, well, I don't want a different buggy and truck, and I can get both from this company, so I'll go there. So in that sense, yes, it might actually be easier. And also just regular customers who buy everything. For them, they race both classes. It's easier. They just have one set of spares and they can do both. So I think, yes, to an extent, it could actually help to have a truck. Will you consider an all-new car in a few years? I've already been working on an all-new car for a while, and I don't know when that's gonna be. It's really hard to say, especially if I make 10 scale cars. Then I would probably make the 10 scale cars first and then make an all-new 8 scale. Because the Black Edition is really good, and there's still a few years of just updates that we can do which will significantly improve it. So an all-new car is really immediately a lot better than the old one. That's what most people don't understand. Because when you have a car, you develop it every year, step by step, to a point where it's really, really good. But then, to improve it further, there are some limitations. And you have to make a new one to then have to have a higher ceiling. But when you make a brand new one, you'll be, in many ways, starting from scratch. So, you're at a very good level with your current car. It's developed as far as you think you can take it. Then you make a new one, and it's almost like you take a couple of steps backwards. But you have a higher ceiling, and then when you start developing again, at some point you'll be equal, and then you'll go beyond what the old car was capable of. Most people don't understand that. They just think that, okay, a new car, it must be better. And it just doesn't work that way. I saw in a pic that you use an old carburetor on your Reds. Why? Yes, I did for the longest time, because I didn't like the horizontal needles. I couldn't tune the engine how I wanted. And the problem for me was that I drive a lot in mid-range, like low throttle or mid-range, and it would always load up. And I just couldn't solve this problem. So I ran the old carb, because with that, I was able to tune my engine to where it was stable and it worked the way I wanted it to. Now this year, I actually started running the horizontal carb again, and it works for me now. I just have to make sure that I don't raise the idle too much, so I don't run a high idle with a rich low end. So I need to make sure that the idle is as low as it can be, and I lean the low end as much as I can, and then just tune the top right. So when I've done that, the new carb, the horizontal needle carb, actually has worked for me, and that's what I've been running now. Is the DNC takeover still on? Yes. I believe we need to go to the Nitro Challenge and and take over the 40 plus class at least. Hey, someone said there's no Legends class. I was really disappointed. I was looking forward to that. Is that true? Are you going to make a new mold for diff boxes to get rid of those carbon fiber sandwiches? No, I'm not. The next time I make a mold for diff boxes is when I make a new car. Am I going to make a touring car? I don't see a touring car happening. Does RC racing get worldwide televised, or at least already in the States like in the States? No, RC racing will never be on TV because it's boring. It's boring to people who don't race. And we don't need TV. We just need to make it good for the enthusiasts. Good and fun for the people at the race, and fun for people following like it is already, you know, online. Does RC racing get on TV like drone racing? No, just like I said. And drone racing won't last either. It's not fun to watch. It's just a fad. It's going to go away. Do you think the future of racing lies in aligning more with full-size motorsport, multi-event championships, clearer structured classes and categories, increasing coverage for major events? Yes, I think so. If we wanted to make RC racing more accessible, more exciting, I think we would need a World Championship series, and I think that series would have to go to, like, let's say there's a motocross World Championship race somewhere. We would build a track and have one of the World Championship series races in conjunction with the motocross World Championship. Same kind of people go there. Well, how many people go there? Like, I don't know, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people. They'd all see RC racing, they'd watch it, they'd be excited about it. Many of them would guaranteed buy some cars, get into the hobby. Same, you could have an event at a rally World Championship series event, or a rallycross, or anything really. So I think that needs to happen more in RC racing, I think. How about full spring and roll bar sets? We've had all kinds of sets before, but they don't really sell, so just have them individually. People get what they want. Do you see shocks going piggyback like the rear shocks on MX bikes? Nope, we've had that, but nothing really serious. I don't see that happening. Techno, but you spelled it wrong. That's the music. Would the hobby industry be better off under the old model where only the truly elite drivers were sponsored? Yes, I think it would be. I think it's impossible to achieve now, but I do think it would be better off if it was like before, where fewer drivers would be sponsored, where you'd actually have to be good to be sponsored. Where while you are an up-and-comer, you would buy locally from your local hobby shop or web shop or wherever, and your local hobby shop would give you a bit of a discount or whatever they would do. And that's how it would go. And then later on, when you are really good on a national level, then you'd start getting some sponsorships. And then when you're getting good on an international level, that's when you could actually start getting some money for it too. If that was the case, I think it would be better for all of us, because there would be more. I mean, the hobby shops could survive better, the tracks could survive better. In a way, there would be more money in the industry, not just the manufacturers like myself selling directly to customers at a discounted price. That's not really the best way to do it. When are JQ cars coming to Canada? You can order cars anytime. And if you find a dealer or distributor, let me know. What program are you using for the development of parts? How do you test the heat resistance and other factors? I don't test heat resistance or that kind of stuff. For plastic parts, after they're designed, we make 3D models and we just try them to make sure everything fits and works how we want before making molds. And for the metal parts, we just CNC some samples and try them. Are the headsets a good or bad thing? I don't know. I don't have an opinion on headsets. I really don't know. Am I gonna make stadium trucks? Not as of right now. Old stuff, but I remember we expected the Hyper 9 to be your car. Was this ever your plan? What happened there? Yes, that was the plan. The first car I designed was designed as the next Hobao, but then, I mean, that was kind of the impression I had, and then it didn't happen because Hobao made a deal with Ofna. I didn't know about it, and they together designed the car. And then when I heard about it, then I just quit Hobao because they never told me. Then I just found out that it's already done. So I said, well, I thought I was gonna do it or help with it, and that was it. So done. Robin Hood UK or Hoodie Arena for 2019 10 scale Worlds. I heard if Robin Hood gets the Worlds, it's going to be Astro, so no. And Hoodie Arena is dirt, so yes. So hopefully it goes to Hoodie Arena then. What about a Euro Buggy Nitro series? Yes, why not? We have it in on-road. Will we ever see upside down mounted emulsion shocks like in 10 scale? You are gonna have to ask Ty Tessman. Do you think money prizes for races is a good or bad idea? I think it's good. I think it's good. But if you do it, you have to have a referee and you have to have rules and you have to stick to them. What do you think, how many cars have you sold since you got on the market? About 1.5 billion. Why don't you make a short course so you can recycle the old parts and have a real JQ electric car for the winter months? No short course. If I make a new car, I'll make a 10 scale 4-wheel and 2-wheel. Short course is dying, exactly. Yeah, RC Racing TV has been on Motors TV. Yes, yes. Shocks aren't improved since 20 years. You have to work on it. Yes, I have to work on it. My phone is about to die. Yep, I know, but it's very hard to develop more sophisticated shocks than what we have now. It costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time, and there's no one really that's gonna do that. There's not enough money in the industry to support something like that. How and when did I start RC racing? I was 14 or 15 when I went to a hobby show. I saw some racing and I was interested in it, but I couldn't start back then. I was still playing ice hockey. All my money was going towards that. So I only started a couple of years later when I was 16 or 17. I quit playing ice hockey and I started racing RC cars. Am I bored of RC yet? Sometimes, like right now after the Euros in August, I just decided not to do any driving or racing until I got to America, just to have a bit of a break. I took a week or two. I just, it wasn't really a holiday, but kind of half holiday. I didn't go to the track at all. I rode motocross every day, and I did work every day, but not that much, just the basics. And then since then, I've just started working office work, business stuff, you know, sales and web shop stuff and emails and all of that really fun stuff that I have to do. And then I think when I go back to America in November, I'll be excited to go to the track again and practice and develop the car and race and head into the new year. Does Josh Hansen still run your car or RC cars at all, or is that just a promotional thing? He ran the car for, when was I over there? I was there in the beginning of the year. For like that summer, he ran RC and then he was done with it. So he doesn't race RC anymore. I don't play ice hockey anymore. I don't really have any favorite teams except the Finnish national team. If you make a 10 scale buggy, what style will you go down, belt or shaft? The one I designed is shaft drive. Amazon keeps too much money if you sell through them. Well, someone was asking about that, I guess. Clint Smith says, my girlfriend says I should take a break. You probably should then. Jay wants me to go skate next time I'm in LA. I can't even remember the last time I skated. I probably still know how though. I mean, I did play for, I don't know, almost 10 years. How much did you like our track in Germany? Yeah, it was good. It's just weird, like German tracks are so small, many of them. Like really narrow and small. It's strange. Different. Steaks with or without steak sauce. Bad steaks with steak sauce, good steaks without steak sauce. If you fly with RC stuff, is it a security problem with all the stuff, engines, tanks? Nah. I've only had a problem one time. This is really crazy. So when I flew, normally I always have my radio and car in hand luggage, carry on, and everything else in check-in. So I went to Myrtle Beach, to the Fall Brawl, and I had my 2 cars and my radio in hand luggage, and they wouldn't let me through. So they said, I can't fly with this. And then I said, okay, I'll check them in, and they wouldn't let me check the cars in. It was incredible. So my radio and my cars, I wasn't allowed to have them in hand luggage or checked in luggage. So I had to call the guy I was staying with, Frank, and he came to the airport, picked up the stuff, and then shipped them to me. It's crazy. That's the only time that's happened. Jason's a good guy. He always cheers for Finns over Sweden in hockey. That's good. How is Mihail Orlovsky doing with the e-buggy? Is he racing the e-Euros this weekend, and will he race Nitro? He's not doing the e-Euros because it was such short notice. He was supposed to do he was supposed to run Neo buggy with Mike JQ cars, electric and Nitro. That was the idea, but I guess Schumacher have different plans, so he's not going to. So that's that then. If you didn't own JQRacing and were not sponsored, what RC would you run? I wouldn't run RC. Are you doing the 1/8 e-buggy Euros? Nope. I believe they started, what day is it? No, did they start today or they start tomorrow? So I'm not doing them. Uh-oh, J. Krug has a set of ice hockey goalie equipment for me. What races will I enter next year in Europe? Neo buggy. Neo buggy will be the first race of the year for me in Europe. Maybe the Rhine-Main warm-up in Germany, in Frankfurt, end of April. Hopefully the BT design contest. Euros warm-up. Euros. Actually, Neo buggy might not be the first race for me, because I'm going to Spain in March. So whatever regional races they have in the south of Spain, I'll do those. Have you ever thought about selling the JQ brand? Yeah, I've thought about that. I've thought about it. There are a few potential buyers who would like to buy something like a complete 8-scale buggy and rebrand it, or even if they just keep the brand. So I've thought about it, but I don't see much point of doing that right now. I need to work a few more years on expanding what we already have, because we have good progress actually. It might not be so visible because it's not, you know, in the top racing scene. Like, it's not within the top 25 drivers in the world, so people might not notice. But in Latin America, for example, Keenan has been doing a great job, and we're selling cars now in Bermuda, Puerto Rico, Uruguay soon, Colombia, Bolivia, Chile, Peru. So all across Latin America, basically. Brazil, we've been selling already before. So there's a lot of new countries that have come in, and a lot of new JQ teams that we're building, and hopefully we can start promoting those soon and posting about them more on Facebook and on our website, and then you'll see that we are actually making progress, but we just need to make more progress, and also in the top 25. Come to the New Zealand Nationals in March next year. March is not possible. I'm going to be, as I said, in Spain. What are my thoughts about the track at Avion? South Africa. Alan Dyer's track. I like it. It's just crazy because of the elevation. There's no power. That's what I always remember there. There's super high grip and then no power, so it's just weird to drive, but I like the track. Hi Village Idiot. Hello. What's going on? How did I like that Euros in Eskilstuna? I actually really liked them a lot. The track was maybe a bit too big, but still good. Good fun. I enjoyed it. And I was really worried about the weather, but it didn't turn out to be too bad. Did it rain at some point a bit? I can't remember anymore. Maybe a bit, but the weather wasn't really an issue. And we got really lucky because the day after the Euros, it rained all day, a lot. So we dodged a bullet there for sure. But everything was good. The facility was great, organization was good, track was fun, so I liked it. For the batteries, how do you take them on the plane? Hand luggage, yes. I would think that all the airlines check for batteries now. So you can't have lightbulbs in check-in luggage. The best place to put them is hand luggage. Frank Losada is gay. We all know this. It's not news. The fly is on the other side of your face today. Yep, I forgot to reverse it. I forgot to reverse the video. Am I going to the 10th Worlds? I'm not going to go. I was planning on going first, but I'm not going. EOS series? Nope, I'm going to be in America. How do I choose tire compound? Tire compound is both temperature and track surface. So the hotter it is, the harder compound you'll want. And the more abrasive, the higher grip the surface is, the harder compound you'll want. With AK, it's pretty easy actually. If it's really loose and cool, you run super soft. If it's over, let's say 20 degrees Celsius, you'll most likely be running soft, regardless of track condition. And then when the soft compound starts feeling squirmy after a few minutes of driving, when the car feels edgy, then you go to soft long way. Yeah, Argentina too. Sorry. I forgot Argentina. Yeah, Ricardo. Dominican Republic is, everyone knows about the DR already. I don't even need to list that, that's a given. Do I think 8-scale electric will overtake nitro? Hell no. If that ever happens, I'm gonna quit. I'm just gonna pack up and quit. What's my favorite place to race? Which racetrack is my favorite? My favorite place to race. I don't know, I feel like I've answered this question before. I can't remember what I answered. But the best place to go to a race is probably Asia, somewhere like Indonesia or Malaysia. Those races have been the best. As for track, I really like the Fear Farm track. That's always a good track. Yeah. I've never been to New Zealand. And I don't think I'm gonna ever release a tire brand. Yeah, the Bitty race, that's true. That was the race, but yeah. The Bitty Euro contest is the best race, maybe. Yes. But if I had gone to the Bitty contest in Asia, that would have probably been better. Okay, I finally caught up with the comments. Thank God for that. Who do you think is the best overall RC driver ever so far? Wow. I don't know. Masami is obviously one of the answers, but I feel like Masami often had an advantage. And when you had better battery power than others, yes, you still had to perform, but it's an advantage, you know. So I don't know how many of those championships were won where drivers really had equal equipment. So I can't say that he would be like, oh, for sure, it's him. It's not that simple. So who's the best ever? I can't say. I don't know. There are so many drivers that have been really very good. So I don't know. I need to think about it. I'll have an answer next time. Okay, were there any questions here on Facebook? On the other post? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I think the egg came first because chickens come from eggs. And the first egg might not have come from a chicken. So let's say an ostrich laid an egg and a chicken came out. The first chicken. So the egg came before the chicken. There you go. Coca-Cola or Pepsi? Not really a big fan of either. I'm gonna say Coca-Cola on that one. Dieter Grosch says Tequila Sunrise. This guy and his girly drinks. How many JQs does it take to change a light bulb? I've got no idea. How many Mexicans does it take to change a light bulb? Just one. Then people complaining that I'm always late. Will I make metal brakes? Yeah, I think so actually. I think I will make metal brakes one day. Would you ever consider building an RC track venue like a JQ Arena? Yes, I would. That'd be cool. I think I might own a track one day. After I retire, I'll have a track. My buggy is dialed. What's the best way to get 1 second faster per lap? Let someone else drive it. But if you want to be 1 second faster a lap, most likely you will be if you slow down a bit. Slow down more, entering the corner, maintain more speed through the corner, and accelerate earlier and harder out of the corner. That's most likely gonna gain you a second. Yeah. Cavalieri, Crag, people are saying who's the best driver ever. Kinwald. I should sell some pro kits built by me. Have you watched when I'm building a car? Would someone really want to buy that? Do you have an RC idol? No, I don't believe in idols anymore. Maybe when I was a kid. And when I was younger. Jukka Stenari and Teemu Leino were the guys to beat back then. Fastest Finnish guys. Teppo Kauppinen too, but he quit. Rudy says Jay Halsey is the greatest. Driving tips, best way to practice or drive better. Actually, I've written a few blogs about that. If you go to my blog, THEQuagraine.com, and you search testing or practice, something like that, you'll find a number of them. Presidente, yes please. Presidente beer in the Dominican Republic, super good. I missed Scott's question. Have you ever blown up an engine? I started reading it, my bad. Have you ever blown up an engine on purpose? Oh God. I can't tell a lie. Yes, I have. Back in the day, I was sponsored by this engine brand that drives with Schnorr-Schnorshi. And I was having some issues with the reliability of the engines. Said the engine would always flame out every time. About 20 minutes in, jump, flame out in the air, done. It happened quite a number of times. I was over it. One race, I was leading, flame out in the air. I knew this was it, it's gonna do it again. I walked down, my mechanic was trying to start it. I was like, no, we're done. Started it, full throttle, started leaning out the top end. It just went, and then leaned it out until it just snapped the conrod. Mushroom cloud flew out of the cooling head. Done. Packed up all my engines, sent them back. I'm done. If you will have to stop RC racing, what will you do? Well, I'm not gonna have to stop, but when I do stop, if I'm still doing JQRacing, then I'm just gonna be like Kanai. You know, I'm just gonna be 50 years old and still racing. But I won't obviously be racing that much. So I'll have more time to do other stuff. I'm starting the clothing brand, which I hope will be kind of my real job in the future. And that can basically take me wherever I want. So gonna be some involvement in motocross because I like motocross. And also involved in providing opportunities to people who don't have them. That can be in motocross, but it can also be in life, like this kid in Indonesia who couldn't go to school. We sent him to school. Maybe he has some dreams, some goals that he couldn't achieve if we don't provide him with an opportunity to do so. So more of that stuff. I could see me doing that stuff in the future. Who makes my stickers? I use Graphics. Graphics in Italy. Do girl Do girls kiss the first night? Do girls kiss on the first night? If a girl doesn't kiss on the first night, then I guess it's not going to be serious. Most underrated nitro buggy? Current nitro buggy or any nitro buggy? I think the most underrated one was the Chrono, the RSO1 or RSO3 or whatever it was called, or the Thunder Tiger EB4. Those were really good, but I think people didn't really know or believe that they were good. More fun to race, Euro tracks or USA? More fun to drive, US tracks. Racing someone else, many times it's actually Euro tracks. Metal brakes, yes. Electric toothbrush or classic one? Sandro is asking this because Sandro is a classic toothbrusher. You should see him brush his teeth. It's the most hilarious thing ever. Basically, Sandro is this Swiss, are you Swiss? I think so. Swiss bodybuilder giving his toothbrush a blowjob. That's what it looks like. It's just incredible. Who is going to win Motocross of Nations this year? Well, Ferrandis just got hurt, but I think Patrarelli is going instead. So France still has a good team. Britain has a good team too. Dean Wilson, Max Anstey, but I don't know if Tommy Searle is going to be good or not. I would like to see GB win. Home race. Imagine they actually won. Tommy Searle has sucked before, and then at Motocross of Nations he just somehow magically pulls it together and does well. So I'm gonna say Great Britain actually win, finally. They'll just have everything go their way and they'll win. France will be second, Belgium will be third, America will be fourth, off the podium. And my favorite motocross rider currently, I mean, there are a few. I don't really have one favorite now. Ken Roxon is awesome. Tim Geiser. They're kind of the guys that I watch now. And in the past it was Chad Reed and James Stewart. How long ago did you start JQ? I started the company in 2009. I started doing this in end of 2007, I think. And I started selling the first car December 2010. So this December it's going to be 7 years. Do you watch any other motorsport apart from motocross? Not really. I watch motocross and supercross, and that's pretty much it. Do you think JS7 will do well next year with the Honda? I don't think JS7 is ever going to race again. What about Hurlings? Yes, I loved that Hurlings went to America and just went 1-1 and kicked everyone's ass. That was great. I like that. What's the biggest win JQ brand has been this year? This year? Do you mean what's the biggest win this year? I don't know. Are we Dominican champions yet? Have you been really happy with the Reds? Yes. How many years has it been? 4? 4 years? It's all good. Okay, you know what? I think we're done. I was planning on doing this only for 30 minutes. It's been way too long. Lot of questions, a lot of answers. Hopefully there was something good in there. I don't know. So now someone just end it. Where's Sandro when you need Sandro? E-buggy. See you later, guys.